Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. This is a continuation of the previous part, so do watch that. If don't start with this one. It might not everything might not make sense. And we discussed till ayah 21 in the previous video, and this was essentially a recap. Is that Musa A.S. Was brought up. Actually, something I missed in the last video was فخرج منها خائفا يترقب. He left, but he was fearful, he was afraid, he was terrified, and he was nervous, he was confused. يترقب. He was in anticipation. Another interpretation of this, other than the fact that he was just nervous to find out the outcome of what was happening, another interpretation is that this is the first time he's leaving the city, or at least he's leaving the city unattended. I mean, look at the fact that this is a boy brought up in the royal palace, right? He's brought up as a son of Firaun, essentially, adopted son of Firaun. And he has he has lived all his life with all that protocol and security and guides and royal travel. He has never had to navigate on his own. He has never had to leave the city on his own. This is all new to him. So him being nervous is understandable, because he's leaving the city for the first time. His people are planning to kill him, and he doesn't know where he's going to go. He's all alone, right? So that is يترقب. He was nervous. Now, sorry, I just went back because this was an important point that I remembered. Now, coming to the actual part 2. Sorry, we were doing the recap. So Musa A.S. he was brought up in the royal palace, as because when he was born, Firaun was killing all the boys. So his mother was told by Allah to put him in a basket and put him in the water, in the river Nile, and that basket flew with the Nile and entered the palace of Firaun, right? He was picked up by the family of Firaun. He was raised as one of their own, as the son of Firaun in the royal palace, and he wouldn't accept anyone else's feed except his own mother's. So that's how basically, just watch the previous video. The recap won't cut it. Anyways, important points being, he mistakenly killed a guy when trying to settle a fight between two people, and now the leaders of the nation, Firaun and his cabinet, they want to kill him because of this. So now he's running away from his city. He's running away from Egypt. And where is he going? Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. وَلَمَّا تَوَجَّهُ تِلْقَاءَ مَدْيَنَ. And when he directed himself, when he turned himself towards Madyan, and he doesn't know Madyan is in that way, right? He doesn't know. He's just turning towards a direction, any random direction. And what does he do then? قال, he says, عسى ربي أن يهديني سواء سبيلا. Maybe Rabbi, my Lord, he will guide me. He will give me hidayah to the right path. Sawa sabila means the balanced path. A path that will take me somewhere, right? And then what happens? He walamma warada ma'a Madyan. And then he reaches the ma'a Madyan, the water source of Madyan. Basically the well of the city of Madyan. When he reaches Madyan, he sees the well. وَجَدَهَا عَلَيْهِ أُمَّةً مِّنَ النَّاسِ يَسْقُونَ. مِّنَ النَّاسِ يَسْقُونَ. And there he finds a whole group of people, an ummah, a nation, a group of people, يَسْقُونَ. They were they were giving water. And it can be said they were either pulling water for themselves, or they were giving water to their animals, or whatever. But they were standing all around the well and they were taking the water. وَوَجَدَ مِن دُونِهِمْ إِمْرَأَتَيْنِ تَذُودَانِ. And he also found, slightly away from them, like slightly separated from them, from these men, from this group of people, imra'atayn, two girls, two women, tadhudan, who were holding back, who were stopping their animals, their herd. So everyone else was, giving water to their animals, but these two women, they were standing slightly farther away, and they were holding back. Their animals wanted to drink as well, but they were holding them back. Like, no, not yet, right? قال, sorry. قال, he said, ما خطبكما? What's the matter with you guys? Why aren't you letting these animals drink? قالتا, they said, the girl said, لا نسقي حتى يصدر الرعاء. That we do not give water, we do not water we do not give water to our animals حتى يصدر الرعاء, until the shepherds, all the other people who are here to feed their animals, to give water to their animals, we don't go to the water until they are doing it, until they are giving water to their animals, because obviously everyone else is men, and these are like women. They don't want to go into these men. It's gonna be a mess basically. So they're waiting their turn essentially. وَأَبُونَا شَيْخٌ كَبِيرٌ. And our father he's very old. He's reached old age, right? He's an old man. And there's a difference of opinion about the interpretation of who their father was. Some say it was Shu'aib alayhi salam. Some say it wasn't Shu'aib alayhi salam, but it was one of his followers. Wallahu a'lam. Both can be correct, both can be wrong. We don't know which. But doesn't matter. Basically, the point to remember is whoever the father was, he was a pious man, and he had raised these girls well as well. Because, they obviously didn't want to mix with the men, and they were, taking care of their haya and all of that. So they were like pious women as well. Now, what happens? فَسَقَى لَهُمَا. So Musa alayhi salam, he gives water to them. He takes their animals and he gives them water. ثُمَّ تَوَلَّى إِلَى الظَّلِّ. And then he turns back towards Dhal, his shade. Basically, the interpretation of this is he was sitting under a tree when he saw all of this. And then he went to those women and, he helped them out. He took their animals, he went to the well, he gave them water, and he returned the animals to them and then went back to his shade. He didn't want any payment from them. He didn't, want to engage in further conversation. He was on his, he didn't want anything to do with them. He didn't want any reward from them, any payment from them. He was just like, this is a good thing, I did it, fine. And then, this is the important part. فَقَالَ, then he said, رَبِّي, O my Lord, إِنِّي لِمَا أَنزَلْتَ إِلَيَّ مِنْ خَيْرٍ فَقِيرٍ. And this is such a beautiful dua. One that, honestly, you don't pick any other dua from the Quran, take this dua. It literally covers everything. He said, فَقَالَ, he said, and dua is, Rabbi, O my Lord, inni, indeed me, lima anzalta ilayya min khayrin faqir. I am faqir, I am poor, I am in need of anything. Lima anzalta, whatever you send down upon me, whatever you give to me, whatever you lima anzalta ilayya, whatever you send down towards me, min khayr, from goodness. So whatever khayr you give to me, I am faqir for it. I'm going to take it. I'm not going to be picky and choosy about it. That no, I don't want this, I don't want this. Whatever you give me, I'm going to take it. That is such a beautiful both dua and an attitude to live by. That, oh Allah, you know what's best for me. Who am I to judge, right? Who am I? What value does my opinion have? You know best. You know me best. You know the circumstances best. You know what's best for me. So whatever khair you give me, whatever goodness you give me, no matter how little, no matter how small, no matter how like little value I think it has, I am going to take it. I'm not going to reject it. Right? And he didn't just make this dua. He also implemented, in the same ayah, we're seeing him implement it. He actually implemented it first and then made the dua. How did he implement it? He saw an opportunity to do khair. He saw an opportunity to do a good deed, which was giving water to these girls' animals, right? He did it. And he didn't ask them for any payment. He didn't ask them for any reward. He didn't wait for them to praise him. None of that. He didn't ask for their number. I mean, sure, they didn't have phones back then, but like, none of that. No extra conversation needed, nothing. He went to them. He was like, what's your case? What's your situation? Why are you waiting here? They were like, we were waiting for the for the shepherds to go away because we can't give our animals water till then. He simply took their animals, gave them water, brought them back, and was like, Fi amanillah, Allah Hafiz. He doesn't want any reward, any compensation from them. His reward, he knows, is from Allah. He is going back to his tree shadow, the shade of the tree, and then he's making the dua, Rabbi inni bima anzalta ilayya min khairin faqir. Whatever khair you give me, whatever it is, just give it to me. Give me khair. I am faqir for it. Right? And we honestly need to live by this attitude. We need to live by this attitude. Any khair, literally any khair, any opportunity for khair, we need to take it. Allah give. If you constantly keep rejecting the opportunities for khair Allah gives you without a valid reason, eventually Allah is going to take away your tawfiq to do khair. He's going to stop giving you opportunities. You keep rejecting, you keep skipping salah intentionally, there will come a time where your heart does not even tell you to go pray. فَقَسَتْ قُلُوبُهُمْ. Their hearts are hardened. There will come a time when that will happen. Because Allah doesn't give hidayah forcefully. If you want it, take it. If you don't want it, don't take it. But at that point, beggars can be choosers. We are faqir for hidayah. We are faqir for khair. We're not in control of it. We don't have any authority, any control over it. We need it from Allah. We need it as a blessing. We need it as a rahmah. Right? So when Allah gives it to us, we can't pick and choose. We can't be like, no, I don't want this khair, I want that khair. No, that's not how this works. Allah decides what to give you, when to give you, and how to give you. And you take it. That is the attitude of a mu'min. Anyways, moving forward. And again, I'm going to reiterate, please, 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 if you don't pick any other dua from the Quran, pick this dua. Take this dua. Make it a part of your life. Rabbi inni lima anzalta ilayya min khairin faqir. It's a small dua. It's not even very long, but it is so profound and so beautiful. It covers literally everything. It covers everything. Khair is anything that is good. Dunya, akhirah, hidayah, wealth, health, knowledge, anything. Anything and everything is covered in khair. So pick this dua, please, please, please make it a part of your life. Moving forward. فَجَاءَتْهُ إِحْدَاهُمَا تَمْشِي عَلَى اسْتِحْيَاءٍ. And so after a while, after a little bit, one of the girls, he found her walking towards him, على استحياء, with haya, with modesty, with shyness. Because again, this is a pious Muslim woman walking alone outside, and in a community, in a place that is not very, like, if you study Ashab Madyan, the story of Ashab Madyan, very few people accepted Islam. They were a fasiq qawm. So again, this is a bad environment, and so she, as a Muslim, as a pious woman, she is protecting herself. Because she has to walk out alone, right? So she is protecting herself. How? By walking with haya. قالت, she says to him, إن أبي يدعوك ليجزيك أجر ما سقيت لنا. She says to Musa A.S, indeed, Abi, our father, my father, يدعوك, he's calling you, ليجزيك أجر, so that he can give you ajr, he can give you a reward, he can give you a payment, ما سقيت لنا, for what, for the water that you gave our animals. فلما جاءه, so he went. Musa A.S, he went with him. He went to him, the father, essentially. وقص عليه القصص, and he told him, he narrated the whole story, the whole incident to him. قال, and basically the story of Musa A.S, not the story of the giving water to the animals, the story of his whole story, that I killed a guy in Misr, and then I had to run away because they were trying to kill me. The whole thing, the whole story. So this father, who maybe is Shu'aib alayhi salam, maybe is not, what does he do? He says, he says, لا تخف, don't fear, don't have khawf, right? Like, don't be scared. Why don't be scared? نجوت من القوم الظالمين. You have been saved, you have escaped, you have gained najat from this qawm al-zalimin, the wrongdoing people, the zalim people. قالت, and then one of the girls said, إحداهما يا أبتي. قالت إحداهما, one of the girls said, يا أبتي, oh father. Ya abati is such a beautiful way to, like, if you study Arabic, there is Ya Abi, oh sorry, Ya Aba, that's one way of saying, oh father. Ya Abati, it's a beautiful, it's not even it's a loving way to refer to your father. Like, oh, like, I can only explain this with Urdu, right? They're saying, Abuji, or they're saying, Abu, baat sune, and there's, Abajan, baat sune, please. Do you see the difference? You see the difference in tone and in wording? That is the difference. That is, Ya Abati. She's being very loving, very soft towards him. He's saying, Ya Abati. And like, when does a child become like overly soft with the father? When they want something, they want a favor, right? Istajirhu. You should like hire him. Hire Musa alayhi salam. Inna khayra man istajarta al-qawiyyu al-amin. Indeed, the khayra man istajart, obviously the best person that you can hire, the khayr among them, the best among the people you can hire, is someone who has two qualities, al-qawi and Al-Amin. They are strong, they have strength, and Al-Amin, they are trustworthy. They don't just have blind strength that they abuse. They're also trustworthy. They, you know, they are, they make sure to do right and not wrong. And two things. First of all, how does the girl know this? Well, obviously, there is a whole personality to a person, right? In those interaction, in that limited interaction, where Musa A.S. went up to them, he was like, what's your situation? And then he took their animals and he gave them water and then returned them and then went back. Obviously, there must have been body language, there must have been tone, and there must have been choice of words, and there must have been his eyes, where he looked, how much he looked at, you know. Like obviously you can tell a lot about a person, even from limited interaction, right? That what they want. And obviously this girl, they're living in a community full of misguidance and kufr and just bad people. So she knows what evil gaze or bad gaze or bad body language and bad men are like. She has seen those. But now finally, she's seeing someone pious. She's seeing someone good, right? So she's like, she's telling the father that, oh, his interactions are so respectful, they're so. And obviously he's strong as well because we saw how he took our animals and he went in between all those people and made space and, gave them water and all of that. So she's saying that, you should hire him. Because who better to hire than such a guy who's strong as well and trustworthy as well, who's pious as well. And and another further interpretation of this that I heard from Numan Ali Khan, and I really liked it. Now, if we look a bit deeper into this, this is an old man. The father's an old man, right? He can't do a lot of work or anything. He can like fight or take the animals out or whatever, right? And these two young girls, two unmarried girls in the house. Obviously, they can't just hire a man to come in the house and work in the house and live in the house like that. So, like obviously, two young girls, one unmarried young man. That's a recipe for disaster, right? So, essentially, under the lines, what she was trying to say, and again, this will refer back to the tone that she used. She says, "Ya abati," she's like, "Oh father, please, like, she's asking for a favor. She's asking for a big favor. That favor isn't hire him, make him a servant. Like what? That's not a favor, right? The favor is, in her saying hire him, what she means is marry me to him. Because obviously he can't be in the house except if he's married to one of them, right? Because unmarried, two young girls and an unmarried young man, again, na mehram and all of that. And the father is potentially a prophet, or even if it's not, he's a pious person. So, like, it doesn't make sense for there to be a stranger in the house, right? So, anyways, this is one interpretation. I personally like this interpretation. I think it's good. I think it's sound. It could be wrong, wallahu a'lam. But I just thought I'd share. So, if you go with this interpretation, she is essentially under the lines, in between the lines, she's telling her father, she's asking her father, Ya Bati, marry me to him. So that, he's a good guy. I've judged his character so far. He's pious by the looks of it. And, we've seen all the people around, and they're not anything like this guy. They're so much worse, right? This is a good guy. Don't let him go to waste. Marry me to him. And then the father understands this. The father understands where she's going with this. So he says, قال. He says, إني أريد أن أنكحك إحدى ابنتي هاتين. That indeed I intend, I intend to give one of these girls, إحدى ابنتي هاتين, one of these two daughters, to you in nikah. Unkihak. I intend to marry them to you. على أن تأجرني ثمانية حجج. In exchange for you working for me for 8 years. Like, this is going to be our agreement, that you work for me for 8 years and I'm going to marry one of my daughters to you. فَإِنْ أَتَمْتَ. And then if you complete that, فَإِنْ أَتَمْتَ عَشْرًا. And if you complete 10 years, فَمِنْ عِنْدِكَ. Then this is like, it's upon you. You can do it, but it's obviously going to be ihsan upon you, upon me. Like, this is going to be ihsan from your side. You can choose to do 8 years, and that will be completely fine. But if you do 10, that's going to be you doing ihsan, you going above and beyond, right? So, وَمَا أُرِيدُ أَنْ أَشُقَّ عَلَيْكَ. And I don't intend any hardship for you. Ashukka, any hardship, any difficulty for you. So if you want to leave after 8, that's fine. But if you do 10, that's your choice. ستجدني إن شاء الله من الصالحين. So Musa A.S. says, actually no, this is the father continuing to say, you will find me, if Allah wills, inshallah, if Allah wills, satajiduni, you will find me min as-salihin, from among the righteous people. So I will be, I will hold strong to my word. I will hold firm on my word that, I'm giving you my word. You work for me for 8 years, and then you can leave. You can marry one of my daughters and leave, right? قال ذلك بيني وبينك. So Musa A.S. said, okay, this is between you and me. This is decided. أيما الأجلين. So whichever of the two terms, أيما الأجلين, whichever of the two terms, either 8 years or 10 years, قضيت, I complete, فلا عدوان علي. Then there's going to be no عدوان, no Udwan basically means like crossing a line. There's going to be no injustice to me. No injustice is the right, yeah. There's going to be no injustice against me or on me. Wallahu ala ma naqulu wakil. And indeed Allah is, seeing. Allah is over, is a wakil, a witness over what we're saying. Allah has, witnessed this. So if you turn back from your word, then Allah is seeing, Allah is all knowing. So they decided this, the terms were set, and all of that. فَلَمَّا قَضَى مُوسَى الْأَجَلِ. Then Musa A.S. completed his term. قَضَى الْأَجَلِ. قَضَى مُوسَى الْأَجَلِ. وَسَارَ بِأَهْلِهِ. And then he left with his أهله generally means family, but it could just mean wife. Right, so then he left with his family. Now, note that it isn't clear how much time he spent, whether like 8 years or 10 years. It's not clear. Interpretations vary. It's a difference of opinion. Some say he spent 8 years, some say he spent 10 years. Wallahu a'lam. It doesn't make a difference, because it was decided that there will be no udwan, no injustice, no blame upon Musa A.S., even if he, whichever of the two terms that he chooses to complete. So after he completed his term, he left with his family. آنس من جانب الطور نارا. And then he saw, or he felt, from the direction of Tur, the the valley of, or the mountain, from a mountain, he felt fire. And naran. He witnessed, he felt fire. Qala, he said, li ahli, to his family, umkuthu inni anastu nara. You guys wait here. Inni anastu nara. Indeed, I will go and get some of the fire. La'alli. Maybe atikum, they will give me minha bi khabarin. Maybe they will give me some like information. Maybe they will guide me to as to where we should go, or maybe they didn't have a good sense of direction as to where they were going. So maybe they will guide me as to the way. أو جذوة من النار, or maybe I will just get some fire from them, get some burning wood from them, for us to warm ourselves, for you to warm ourselves, right? لَعَلَّكُمْ تَصْطَلُونَ, so that you can warm yourselves with it. Now, this is the beginning of the... Actually, before this, we should like end up here that this is now his time in Madyan, right? Musa A.S.'s time in Madyan. Now, see the power of that dua, that he made the dua, Rabbi inni lima anzalta ilayya min khairin faqir. Oh Allah, whatever khair you send down upon me, I am faqir for it. And within a day of coming into a completely new city, where he did not know anyone, where he did not, have any place to live, any family, no one, no accomplices, nothing. Within a day, he now has a wife, a job, a place to live. So are you, and a mentor. So either that's Shuaib alayhi salam or whoever this pious person is, but a mentor. They're a senior, person, so they can mentor Musa alayhi salam. And we see this when they say, La takhaf, don't fear. Indeed, you've escaped from the people. So within a day, now Musa alayhi salam, and the power of this dua, honestly, this is such a true explanation of the power of this dua, that within a day, Musa alayhi salam has been given a wife, a shelter, a job, and a mentor. Like, this is so powerful. And so then he completes his term. He committed to whatever, even if he did 8 years, he committed to 8 years, he completed his 8 years. And obviously he committed his 8 years with honesty and, true dedication to his work. Now he's leaving. Why is he leaving? Because obviously he wants to connect with his family as well, right? He's like, I don't want to keep being a burden upon you, upon whoever this person is, the mentor, the father of the girls. And also, I want to reconnect with my family, right? Like, I've been separated from them for so long. I want to, go back to them, maybe, get in touch with them. Because it's been a while. People might not recognize him. People might have forgotten. So he's just thinking that he'll go back there and, keep a low profile and just continue living in Misr. And no one will find out. His plan is such. But now, see the plan of Allah. When, he felt fire from the direction of the mountain, from Tur. And he said to his family that you stay here, I'll go and get some fire, or either get some directions or information. فَلَمَّا آتَاهَا, so when he went towards it, when he reached towards it, نُودِيَ مِنْ شَاطِئِ الْوَادِ أَيْمَنٍ. So when he went near it, he was called out to. From where? From the rightmost corner of the valley, there was a fil buq'atil mubarakah. There was a blessed spot, a blessed land, right? Min ash-shajarati, in a from a tree, basically, from the tree. Sorry, I'm messing up the translation here. So when he reached there, he was called out to. Who was he called out to? Min ash-shajarati, from the tree. A tree called out to him. And from where it called out? The right corner, Shita il Wad al Ayman, the rightmost corner of the valley. Fil Buq'atil Mubarakah. And this valley, this is in a blessed land, a Mubarak land, a blessed spot. Now, what is the calling out? What is the tree saying? Anya Musa inni anallahu rabbul alameen. And now this isn't actually the tree saying, it's just the sound is coming from the tree. Ya Musa, inni anallahu rabbul alameen. Indeed, I am Allah, Rabbul Alameen, the Lord of all the worlds. Allah is directly talking to him. And this is where the Kalamullah starts, where Allah starts talking directly to Musa A.S, right? This is why the title of Musa A.S is Kalimullah, the one who talks to Allah. Moving forward, وَأَنْ أَلْقِ أَصَاقٍ. So throw down your staff, your asa, your stick that you were walking with. فَلَمَّا رَآهَا تَهْتَزُّ كَأَنَّهَا جَانٌّ. And you will see, he saw it change. تَهْتَزُّ. He saw it change. كَأَنَّهَا جَانٌّ. It turned into a thin snake, like a small snake. وَلَّا مُدْبِرًا. And then it started writhing. Like snakes, basically, they turn left and right, like they wriggle, right? So it started wriggling. وَلَمْ يُعَقِّبْ. And it did not, it started moving and it did not return. It did not come back to him. It started moving in front. Ya Musa, O Musa, aqbil wa la takhaf. Come close. Aqbil, come forward. Move forward, step forward. Wa la takhaf, and don't fear. Innaka minal aminin. Indeed, you are in amana. You are secured. Don't fear, right? Usluk yadaka fi jaybik. So enter, usluk is, basically the full tarjuma would be, usluk yadaka, enter put your hand, fi jaybika, into your armpit, right? Takhruj, and when you take it out, baydaa min ghayri su, it will be shining brightly without any without any illness, without any pain. It won't be, baydaa means it will turn white, right? It's not necessarily shining, but contextually we take it to be shining. It will turn white, it will turn bright white, but it won't be because of any illness or a skin condition or a medical condition. It won't hurt you at all. It's just a miracle of Allah, right? غَيْرِ سُوءٍ, it's without any pain, without any illness, without any disease. وَضْمُمْ, and وَضْمُمْ إِلَيْكَ جَنَاحَكَ, and tuck your hands, tuck your arms towards yourself, around yourself, مِنَ الرَّهْبِ, when you're out of fear, essentially. So when you're afraid, when you're anxious, when you're nervous, tuck your, sort of do a self-hug, basically, right? and that was like Allah had placed in it for him like special mercy. And Allah says, فَذَانِكَ بُرْهَانَانِ مِنْ رَبِّكَ مِنْ رَبِّكَ. So these are two, burhan is something that is a clear sign, clear evidence, right? These are two clear signs from your Lord, إِلَى فِرْعَوْنِ وَمَلَئِهِ, towards Firaun and his cabinet, his leaders basically. So his military leaders, his generals, his close allies. إِنَّهُمْ كَانُوا قَوْمًا فَاسِقِينَ. Indeed, they are a fasiq qawm, a defiant, disobedient nation. Now, what was Musa alayhi salam's plan? He left Madyan with the plan of going back to Misr, keeping a low profile, and just spending life quietly without being recognized. What is the plan of Allah now? He says, these are فَذَانِكَ بُرْهَانَانِ مِنْ رَبِّكَ. These are signs from your Lord, إِلَى فِرْعَوْنَ وَمَلَئِهِ, towards Firaun and his allies, his leaders. That no, you don't just get to sit quietly in a corner and stay undetected. You're gonna go directly to Firaun. You're gonna challenge the system. You're gonna give da'wah to him. Indeed, they are a fast and disobedient qawm, right? Qala, he said, Musa alayhi salam said, Rabbi inni qataltu minhum nafsa. Oh my Lord, I killed one of them. I killed someone over there, right? فَأَخَافَ أَن يَقْتُلُونَ. And I fear that they will kill me. Because I killed them, so they will kill me as well. وَأَخِي هَارُونَ. And my brother Harun, هُوَ أَفْصَحُ مِنِّي لِسَانًا. He is more fluent, he is more fasih than me in the language. His words have more tasir. He can speak much better than me, right? He has more speaking skills than me. فَأَرْسِلْهُ مَعِيَ رِدًا. And now basically, before this, actually, let's continue. فَأَرْسِلْهُ مَعِيَ رِدًا. So, make him a Rasul as well. If you're making me a Rasul, make him a Rasul as well with me, so that he can help me. He can be my friend. He can be my supporter. يُصَدِّقُنِي. And he can, vouch for me. He can authenticate what I'm saying. Like once I say something, but then another person also is like, yeah, he's telling the truth. That's going to be like authentication, right? It's going to support your argument. So that he can authenticate what I'm saying. He can verify what I'm saying. Inni akhafu an yukadhibun. Indeed, I fear that these people, they will deny, they will kadhab, they will straightforwardly deny this message. And so he put forward his two concerns toward Allah, that I killed him and I fear that they will kill me, and I can't speak as well. My brother can speak much better than me, so make him a Rasul as well, because I fear that if I'm alone, people won't listen to me. People will deny this message. People will deny me, right? قال, so then Allah said, سَنَشُدُّ. Indeed, we will strengthen you, we will support you. سَنَشُدُّ أَضُدَكَ. We will support your arm. We will help you in your work. We will strengthen you. بِأَخِيكَ, with your brother. وَنَجْعَلُ لَكُمَا سُلْطَانًا. And we will create for you two sultanan, like basically authority or supremacy. Like you will in the end be among those who will have control. You will win, right? يَصِلُونَ إِلَيْكُمَا بِآيَاتِنَا. Oh, sorry. فَلَا يَصِلُونَ إِلَيْكُمَا بِآيَاتِنَا. So سُلطانا فلا يصلون. Uh, okay, so a bit of confusion here. Let me sort this out. Yeah, okay. وَنَجْعَلْ لَكُمَا سُلْطَانًا فَلَا يَصِلُونَ. And we will create this authority, this power, this supremacy for you. فَلَا يَصِلُونَ. So they won't be able to reach you. They won't be able to, get to you. And this is proven by the fact that when Musa alayhi salam gave da'wah to Firaun, he was Firaun, right? He was the king. He could have, what was his threat to Musa alayhi salam? That I will imprison you. I will put you in jail. He did not even have the supremacy, the sultan, so much supremacy was given to Musa alayhi salam by Allah that even though he did not have any practical authority, like he wasn't a king or he wasn't a minister or anything, it was just his personality and his nature was given so much supremacy that Firaun couldn't even threaten to kill him. All he threatened was, I will put you in jail, or later on he threatened that I will exile you, I will throw you out of the land. أنتما ومن اتبعكما الغالبون. And towards you we will send our ayat, our signs. أنتما ومن اتبعكما الغالبون. You and the ones who follow you, you will be ghalibun. You will be predominant, you will have success, you will win, you will have control in the land. فَلَمَّا جَاءَهُمْ مُوسَى. So then Musa alayhi salam went to them, to Firaun, بِآيَاتِنَا بَيِّنَاتٍ, with ayatim bayyinat, with clear verses from Allah, with clear evidence from Allah, clear signs from Allah. قَالُوا, they said, Firaun and his cabinet, they said, ما هذا إلا سحر مفترى. This is nothing but sihr, magic, muftara, and something that you are making up yourself. You're inventing this. So this is invented magic. You're just making all of this up yourself, and this is nothing but magic. وَمَا سَمِعْنَا بِهَذَا فِي آبَائِنَا الْأَوَّلِينَ. And we haven't heard anything like this, anything of this sort, from our aba, our forefathers, or awwalin, who were before us, right? We haven't heard anything like this. What is this new stuff that you're making up? This is nothing but magic. You're just making all of this up yourself, and there's no truth to this. وَقَالَ مُوسَى. So Musa alayhi salam said, رَبِّي أَعْلَمُ بِمَنْ جَاءَ بِالْهُدَى. My Lord is more knowing, is a'lam. He knows a lot more. He has a lot more ilm. Sorry about that. Rabbi a'lamu. My Lord is a'lam. He's much more knowing. Biman ja'a. Then you guys. Ja'a bil huda. He knows a lot more about who brought huda, who brought hidayah, min indihi, from him. So Musa alayhi salam is like, even though they're countering, Musa alayhi salam is staying constant. He's staying firm on his message. That indeed, my Lord, Allah knows more about who had guidance from him and who was misguided, right? وَمَنْ تَكُونُ لَهُ عَاقِبَةُ الدَّارِ. And who will have success, who will have for who will be the home of the akhirah. إِنَّهُ لَا يُفْلِحُ الظَّالِمُونَ. And indeed the zalimun, the wrongdoers, the zalim people, they never yuflihu. There's no success for them. They don't succeed, they don't win. وَقَالَ فِرْعَوْنُ يَا أَيُّهَا الْمَلَأُ. And Firaun alayhi salam said, يَا أَيُّهَا الْمَلَأُ. he said to all the, he said, Ya ayyuhal mala, so all you leaders, all you, you eminent, you ministers and whatnot, everyone who's in his cabinet basically, Ya ayyuhal mala, ma alimtu lakum. So, yeah, so basically Firaun is saying to his cabinet that, you know, ma alimtu lakum min ilahin ghayri, that I don't know for you, I don't have any ilm of for you, min ilahin ghayri, of any ilah, any god, any lord other than me. Now look at the wording here. What is he saying? That for you there's only one Lord, and that is me. I don't know of any other Lord, any other ilah than me. And this sort of expands, like if we like try and understand this, this can open up the understanding of the term ilah for us. Ilah means God, but like, or Lord is a better translation, but in the sense of someone who is worthy of worship, right? Someone who should be worshipped. So we say La ilaha illallah. There is nobody worthy of worship. There's no ilah illallah except Allah, right? But again, the point of this, the point of him saying that he is the ilah, he is worthy of worship, he's not saying, pray to me or do like fast for me or do hajj of me. That's not what he means. His version of ilah, him saying that I am your ilah, there's no other ilah but me, means that he will have supreme authority in the land. We need to, the thing is, when we translate abd or ibadat from Arabic into English, we translate it as worship, right? But we sort of constrict or restrict the meaning of worship to something that is a very small subset of true ibadat, right? We think namaz, roza, zakat, hajj, that's worship, right? Fine, that's worship. But ibadat is a much wider term. It encompasses a lot more, right? It includes, like ibadah means fully submitting, being a slave to. Basically, abd is the same. It means slave. Abdul Muttalib. He was called Abdul Muttalib because he was when he was brought from the other city, he was mistaken as a slave of Muttalib. That's why the Prophet's grandfather was known as Abdul Muttalib, right? Anyways, coming back to the topic. So, ilah means someone who should be worshipped, someone who is deserving of ibadat, right? And ibadat, more than namaz and rukuh and sujood and sawm and hajj, more than all of this, it means to accept the hukam, to accept the command of, and to, live by the commands of the ma'bud, the one who is worshipped. So the problem with us is we restrict ilah to just that, the concept of namaz, roza, zakat, hajj. Tick, yeah, I'm doing perfect in my ibadah. No, you're not. You're still listening to music. You're still, you're not lowering your gaze. You're not stopping your haram relationships. You're not ending, you're not getting up from bad friendships or places where there's bad conversation happening. You're not protecting your iman. You're not, you're doing so many other things, which is completely, the antithesis of being a slave to Allah. A slave follows each and every command. It doesn't pick and choose which commands it follows. So, again, I've talked about this in a lot more detail throughout the 30-30 challenge as well, and previous discussions as well. So I won't go too much into that. That's a whole tangent. But anyways, essentially the meaning of ilah here that Firaun is using is, my orders, my word will be the supreme authority. I get to make decisions. I don't know of anyone else in this land who can make decisions for you guys. I am the supreme Lord. I am Ana Rabbukumul A'la. I am your great Lord. I decide what's right and what's wrong and what's good and what's bad. Right? So that's the context of ilah here. فَأَوْقِدْ لِي. So burn for me, or like light up for me, Ya Haman. Oh, he's talking to Haman, right? He's saying, oh Haman, light up for me, ala tini, over like clay, over mud, فَجْعَلْ لِي صَرْحًا لَعَلِّي, and then make from. So basically he's saying, light a fire and place some clay over it to make bricks, and then from those bricks, فَجْعَلْ لِي صَرْحًا, make for me a castle, a fortress. لَعَلِّي أَطَّلِعُ إِلَى إِلَهِ Musa, so that maybe I'll be able to look at, or I'll be able to see, or I'll be able to gain knowledge of Ilahi Musa, the Ilah of Musa, the God of Musa, the Lord of Musa. وَإِنِّي لَأَظُنُّهُ مِنَ الْكَاذِبِينَ, and indeed I think that he is a liar. He's from among the Kadhibin, the liars. Now this was the arrogance of Firaun. He was like, Ya Haman, build a fortress for me, build stairs for me. I am gonna climb them to the heavens, and I am gonna see who is this Lord that Musa keeps inviting us to. I want to see with my own two eyes who this God is, who this Ilah is. Who is he calling us to worship? Let me see. I'll go fight him. And this is, if you study the story of Firaun and Musa alayhi salam, this is an actual thing that he ordered a fortress and a whole stairway to be made to heaven, and he said, prepare an army. I'm going to go fight his God, and we'll see who comes out victorious. I am the Ilah here, and he's inviting to another Ilah. I'm going to go fight his Ilah. That's what Firaun said. That was his arrogance, right? And sure, he said it openly, but we say the exact same thing. Allah says in the Quran that if you don't leave riba, if you don't leave interest, if you keep consuming interest, then be prepared for a war, a battle with Allah and His Rasul. It's in clear words. So sure, we don't say that we are going to go fight Allah, but that's what our actions say. We don't stop consuming interest. Our entire banking system, our entire economy, everything is based on interest. We are literally, openly declaring war on Allah. How different are we from Firaun then? And so, yeah, again, wastakbar, it continues. He was arrogant, he had takabbur. Like I said, huwa wa junuduhu. He and his soldiers, fil ardi, in the land, they were arrogant, they had takabbur, right? Him and his army, they thought, they were the biggest and the most powerful, and no one can do anything to them. They had takabbur in the land, fil ardi, bighayri al-haqqi, without haqq. They had no right to have takabbur. They had no right to be arrogant in the land. وَظَنُّوا أَنَّهُمْ إِلَيْنَا لَا يُرْجَعُونَ. And they thought that they would not be returned to us. They thought that they would never have to be raised again in the hereafter. They thought that they would just, spend this life and then die and it'll be over. There's going to be no questioning, no responsibility, no answerability for their actions. They thought they would just get away with everything. They would be returned in front of Allah. Again, same thing. We do exactly this. If we truly believe in the akhirah, honestly tell me, if we believe that we are going to be answerable for our actions in the akhirah, would we be doing all this? Would we be consuming interest as a nation, as a system, as a whole? Would we be committing fraud after fraud and bribery and taking bribes and after bribes and doing corruption after corruption and staying silent when our Muslim brothers and sisters are brutally murdered and killed? Would we, if we truly believed in the akhirah? I don't think so. I don't believe it. It is a lack of iman bil akhirah. It is a lack of truly believing that we're going to be answerable that makes us do this. Because if we had firm belief that Allah is going to ask us about what we're doing and what we do, or what we did in this life, then trust me, we would be a lot straighter. We don't outrightly deny it, we won't be raised again, but that is what our actions say. That is what our actions say. So we're not much different from Firaun. The only difference is he had the army and the strength in this world to be able to say, Ana Rabbukumul A'la. We don't have the army and the strength, so we don't say it in words, but we say it with actions. We don't fully deny that, I don't outwardly say that Allah doesn't exist, but I do it with my actions. I do it with all my planning. That I plan that, I can't, support Deen, and I can't make efforts for Deen right now because I first need to complete my graduation, and then, I need to get a job and have a career established, and then, send my kids to school and then raise them up and then have their, weddings and all of that. And this is all essentially a rejection of Allah. Because if I had true, firm belief that Allah is Ar-Raziq, that Allah is going to provide, Allah is the one who gives me rizq, then I wouldn't think twice about working for His Deen. I wouldn't think twice about devoting my energies for His Deen, for Islam, for the establishment of His Deen. I wouldn't think twice about it. So even though I don't say it in words, I again and again, literally countless times a day, I deny Allah being Allah, and Allah being Ilah, and Allah being Ar-Rab, and Allah being Raziq, and Allah being Wahhab. I deny all of these with my actions. So may Allah and this is shirk. This is shirk. This is may Allah truly save us all from each and every kind of shirk. And may Allah give us the understanding and the guidance and the tawfiq to be able to cut out these bad things from our lives. Once we've realized it, may Allah give us the energy and the tawfiq to be able to take a stand and put an end to all of this. We need to be the ones who start changing. We need to be the ones who bring about this revolution. This is a responsibility of the youth. The old people cannot do this. They don't have the energy, the freedom, the flexibility, the time, the brain power. They don't have any of it. We, you and me, us in this age, this is the time. This is prime time for this work. Prime time. Devote yourselves to service of the deen. Honestly, just start. Start understanding the Quran. Start spreading the Quran. It doesn't matter how good or how bad you are. It doesn't matter how little knowledge you have. Rasulullah ﷺ said, narrate from me, transmit forward from me, even if it is only one ayah. Even if it's only one ayah. Just spread it forward. You will be asked on the Day of Judgment about your ilm, about how much ilm you were given and what you did with that ilm. Did you truly implement it in your own life? Did you share it forward? Or were you like the snake that sits on top of the treasure and neither benefits from it, from the treasure itself, nor lets anyone else benefit from the treasure? Do think about that. Jazakumullahu khairan. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.